Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Fuller Kamara. Today we are in chapter 15, credit memos and customers refund. Clients may experience situations where they've completed a project earlier than expected, purchased more material than they used, or the customers has returned faulty items. In these situations, the client could either refund part or the full amount or offers a credit against future services or products. Clients can send refund to customers using refund receipt. Understanding credit memos. A credit memo is a posting transaction that can be applied to a customer's invoice as a partial or full payment. A credit memo does not refund the customer, so it's not a money out transaction. Credit memos reduce the account receivable balance, but not cash. Clients may be tempted to edit the original invoice instead of creating a credit memo. But this is not the best practice to change a transaction once the client has sent it to the customer. Editing existing transaction can cause confusion and is not good for record keeping. This can become an issue, especially if the original invoice relates to the prior year, because making changes can cause the books to go out of balance with tax returns and previously reported amounts. Some clients may be tempted to bill for less in the next invoice. The client will have to edit the item cost or price or invoice for less than what was supplied, which could affect the books on the back end. The best practice is to create a transaction in Quickbooks Online for each exchange between the client and customers. This can clarify the timing and sequence of events with a customer. Sometimes the client may decide to refund in cash and not record the transaction. It is important to capture all transactions, whether paid in cash or not, to ensure the completeness of records. If the client fails to record the cash refund to customers, they will pay sales and income taxes on the sales transaction and receive no benefits from the return. Credit memos can be issued at any time. Customers can be given credit as part of a loyalty program or referral incentive program, or they can be given credit memo as a result of goodwill gesture. The client can set up a referral scheme by adding a new service item called "Thank you for referring us" that is mapped to a discount income account. They can use this item when creating credit memos. So now let's go to QuickBooks Online and see how to create a credit memo. From our sample company, to create a credit memo, you navigate to the plus new icon. And then once you click plus new, you select credit memo. You also have the option to create a credit memo by going to the sales, select all sales. From the new transaction, you select credit memo. Let's say we are creating a credit memo for Amy Sanctuary. So to create a credit memo, you select the customer from the drop down. You select the product or service. Let's say in this case, design. We fill in the fields for customer, product or service. So we fill in all the details. So once we finish, we select save and close. Applying credit memos. By default, QuickBooks Online automatically applies credit memos to existing invoices or new customer invoices. This feature is controlled by automatically apply credit settings in the advanced section of the account and settings, the automation section. So to turn it off or on, you can go to the gear icon, account and settings, advanced, then you go to automation, you select, you can see by default automatically apply credits. The slider is on for this. So to turn it off, you can just click on this, select save. Automatically applying credit memo feature is great for clients with simple account receivable. However, clients with high volume or more complex AR workflow should use it with caution. Clients can disable it, can disable the slider, just like what we did. So clients can disable this at any time, because sometimes if you leave it on to automatically apply credit memo, let's say if the customer has like an open invoice, the credit memo will be applied automatically to the oldest open invoice. So that's the reason why sometimes if the client has a large volume of invoices, it is always advisable to turn it off so that they can apply the credit memo manually. So once we finish, we click done. So applying credit memo to an existing invoice. So in order for us to manually apply credit memo to an existing invoice, first of all, let's create an invoice. So we go to the plus new and then invoice. We select the customer, let's say Amy. Once we select the customer, the date, we can leave it today's date, and then the due date, which because it's a net 30, so the due date is 9/26/2023. Then we enter the product or service. In this case, let's say customer design. Once we finish, we click save and close, or save and send, whichever option we prefer. So we can click save and close in this case. So we've created the invoice. So now to apply the credit memo to the existing invoice, we click plus new and then receive payment. So once we click receive payment, we select the same customer, Amy. So now we can see the invoice that we want to apply the credit memo to. We select that invoice, which is the one that we just created. As you can see, initially the invoice that was selected is the previous invoice, the oldest invoice. So because we want to apply the credit memo to the correct invoice, that's why we've selected to apply the credit memo manually. So in this case, we select the correct invoice which we want to apply the credit memo to. So once we select that, and then to the credit memo, you can see this is the credit memo. So we check the box for the credit memo so that the credit memo will apply automatically to this invoice. So once we done, we click save and close. So now we have applied that credit memo. If we create the statement for this customer, we can see the transactions. So as you can see the credit memo, the invoice that was created, and then the credit memo that we created. So initially we created the credit memo for 75, which was automatically applied against the existing invoice. Then we create another credit memo, which is the 75, which is applied against the $75 invoice. So this is how you apply credit memo. So now let's go to customer refund. Some cases, credit memos are not the right solution. In such cases, the client will need to refund money to a customer. So meaning they will have to pay the customer the cash. The money will be taken out of the client's account to pay the customer. This could be due to faulty goods or one-time job that came under budget. In QuickBooks Online, the client can create a refund receipt. This is a money out transaction from the specified payment. The difference between a refund and a credit memo will reduce the account receivable balance, but not cash. Whereas for refund, the refund will reduce the cash account, because the money will go out of the account. So to create a refund, we select the plus new. Once we select the plus new, and then we select refund receipt. Choose the customer from the drop down. So in this case, let's say Amy. Once we choose the customer, we can see the date will populate automatically to today's date. We can change this date to whatever date we prefer. So we can select the bank account from which the amount will be coming from. We select, let's say, checking. The account balance currently is 1,201. So the check number will be check number 71. So this is where the refund will be coming from. Then we select the product. Which product are we refunding? So let's say design. So we are refunding the customer the $75. So once we select, then we can click whether we click save and close or save and send. So in this case, let's say save and send. Then we click save and close. That's the end of chapter 15. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe, turn on the notification. See you in the next video. Thank you.